Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 372 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here by myself at the moment, waiting for Evan Hollywood to come in. We're talking about some of the Eagles recap of the Patriots. We're also talking about some of the preview of the Vikings Eagles. Obviously, things have been going on in the news. You might see some guys injured. It's gonna be a little tough scene coming Thursday. Me, for one, if I'm just talking about the recap in the Patriots game, I felt like sort of, if you guys been listening to the podcast, you know that we got a house, you know that things aren't where they're supposed to be yet, but as you move things around, you figure out what works. And in terms of what works, you'll figure it out as you go. And the Eagles, with some moving parts, with coordinators, some new pieces, some new starters, they're going to figure out how it works and how it comes together. Obviously, they're not like rugs, or they're not like tables or couches or anything. They're real players, and at the end of the day, this team got a W, whether you like it or not. How they won, I mean, I'm having the same conversation over and over again of they didn't like how they won, but they won. But I didn't like how they won. But at the end of the day, they won. So as a professional football team, we got a W, and at the end of the season, we're not going to be talking about how they won. They got a W, and they stacked W's, and that's how you continue to be a good team. Now, they're just going to have to figure out how to make some things work. Obviously, I wasn't really happy with the product throughout the game, but if you were there with us sitting in the rain, it was a tough scene in terms of conditions, but that is Gillette Stadium, and the New England fans will tell you about that, but they got a dub. I mean, Evan was there. Evan was on the road trip. How are you feeling? Are you mad how they won, Evan?
Am I mad how they won? No, I'm not mad how they won. A dub is a dub. I'll give people that it was a little bit ugly. Obviously we're having our way with them in the first half, and then the second half kind of felt like we were trying to give the game back to them. But ultimately, the way I look at it is, it was a rainy ass Saturday. I mean, when I tell you rainy, my hands, Gail, I showed you my hands like at halftime. They were pruned the hell up, bro. It was fucking disgusting. It was gross out there. And for them to have their first game in that type of weather, after not having any sort of preseason snaps for a lot of the starters, while also having brand new coordinators that, haven't had any real-time game action with their starters out there, there's a lot of reasons as to why things could have gone wrong. And I think that's the reason as to why they did. With that being said, that excuse only lasts for 1 week. I mean, that was your shake off the rust game. We got to come back strong tomorrow. There's no really ifs, ands, buts about it. We do have the benefit in that, everybody loves to throw around the Kirk Cousins and primetime thing, and they're coming off a short week as well. We're not the only ones coming off a short week. So it'll be a fair match, but who knows? These Thursday night matchups, a lot of times they can catch a lot of teams off guard.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, but talk about primetime games. He has not been great. But speaking about the New England game real quick, I know we got some guests on. We have Kyle Edwards and Justin Clement, who are the Eagles muralists, who are actually down there at the link right now, painting a mural for the Eagles. So we're going to get in touch with them. We have
where are they painting it at? Like
right outside the link. Right out where you see
on the link itself, or on the ground, or
right outside the pro shop, where everyone takes the photos and stuff.
Cool.
So they're gonna be showing some, maybe teasing some. They actually, Kyle actually just worked with Jason Kelsey on the documentary. He did some work for him. But we have those guys on at 7. We have Alex, the pulled pork master, coming on. As we are doing the tailgate. I just want to get that off our chest early. Tailgate tomorrow. This is the big one. It's the opener. It's usually out of control. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be a good time. It'll be in Lot G2 starting at 2:30. Don't get lost. We'll try and let you know where we are at socials.
For all the people that happen to catch the Twitter post that you put out there in regards to that tailgate, I mean, there was an interesting new addition going on there.
We have Red Bull. Shout out to Red Bull, our new sponsor this year. Who it's a tremendous get because these guys are awesome. But in terms of what they might be bringing to the tailgate, they might be bringing a vehicle. Said vehicle could house said DJ Lowski. If you're looking for a armored vehicle and a DJ vehicle, this could be it.
2 in 1. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So Lowski pops out of the middle and play some tunes while Evan's making cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I don't think my grill's gonna fit up there. I think that's just gonna be a Lowski stage. But looking forward to it, man. That's gonna be a fun addition to the tailgate for sure.
Big news. But again, it's a vibe, and we appreciate you guys coming out for this tailgate. But speaking about the tailgates, Philly Sports Trips put on a great tailgate in New England. We had a good time meeting all you Eagle fans out there in New England. It's weird to be. I grew up in New England. As me and Evan are driving through Connecticut, I'm telling Evan how much
those overpasses.
Marion Park. I hate Connecticut. I don't miss it. No. I'm no bad blood or anything. I'm just saying that I'm still over it.
Yeah, you were very vocal about that you have no desire to ever live back in the state of Connecticut. As do I. I mean, I never lived in Connecticut, but I've told stories to you about my experiences, and I've had enough of Connecticut for a lifetime, personally.
Interesting. Talking about the event up there, really good time. The hotel was dope. Food was okay. Food was pretty good.
I wouldn't say food was okay. Food was pretty great, bro. And Gail came back with a completely new dish that he's going to be throwing down in his own kitchen. This man ate about 10 pounds of corn on the trip. we ended. I mean, it was pretty great. So there was this. We were going to go get grilled cheeses late on, what was that, Saturday night?
Yeah.
And who would have thought that the grilled cheese line would have been around the block? And so we look at that. We're like, yeah, not waiting for that. We're sitting here starving. Look across the street. There's a little taco joint. Pop on in. And who would have thought that had the greatest street corn in the history of street corn? It was dinner with the show, too. Let's not undersell that.
Oh, we saw a rat battle, 2 rats going at it.
There was a rat fight going on outside as we were eating. It was pretty cool.
Good times. Ryan chimes in. He says, what is that, a Tesla truck? That was actually a Land Rover truck. So hopefully we'll be I don't know if I'm not ready to drive in it, but hopefully
oh, you ain't driving it, bro. You Red Bull's got insurance, bro. There's no way they're letting any of us minions drive that.
Shout out to Angel. He said, look forward to meeting you guys tomorrow. Coming in from Connecticut. Paul Smith, who is also from my hometown. He hates Connecticut too, brother. Paulie Walnut says Connecticut sucks.
Yes, it does.
So as the New England Patriots, they suck. But again, get back to the game. In terms of what the Patriots did offensively, they were kind of offensive in the first quarter. You look at an Eagles team who's phenomenal. I know a guy named Pete Nathan, not here right now, but he did call Jordan Davis a bust. I wrote that down. Jordan Davis caused the fumble. Didn't he have a sack as well?
Had a sack. Yeah.
He had a tremendous game. Speaking of Georgia Bulldogs, another guy who had a tremendous game.
Jalen Carter.
8 pressures. How many?
Most in the NFL.
How many sacks?
That was 1 sack.
That's 2 sacks from Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, I thought you meant from him individually.
But yes. Well, I mean, as a combined Georgia force. So at the end of the day, the Georgia Bulldogs came and showed out. Again, when you're talking about the new blood, you got to be excited about that.
Ryan's sitting here asking, yo, what's up with the mask with the big middle finger on it? That was quite an experience in that game. I mean, first of all, I want to come across and saying this. We as a podcast have been very fortunate to be able to travel all over the country, see a bunch of new stadiums, interact with a bunch of new fan bases. And there is one thing that I will say about the New England fan base that, doesn't exist among many fan bases in the country. That is the ability to talk back. As Eagles fans, no matter where we go, we love to talk shit. And, when you get down to places like Carolina, Atlanta, the Deep South, they tend to be really nice people. And we sit there and we talk shit to them. And then they just kind of take it on the chin. And ultimately, I end up feeling bad afterwards for talking shit. So I want some reciprocation. Whereas in New England, there was no problem with that. They too love talking shit. I mean, they had the greatest dynasty in all of sports. So I kind of understand where they're coming from. We were watching Mac Jones, and after Jalen Hurts had made a phenomenal, could never do that. Patriots fans, that's what a real franchise quarterback looks like. Then I sat there and I was like, I think they know what a franchise quarterback actually looks like now that I think about it.
We did see Tom Brady running down the field at halftime. I think
that was odd, just considering seeing him without pads on. I was like, he looks like a little girly man out there,
and all the Botox. He looked a little tight in the face, tight Tommy. But obviously he's the GOAT. I did find those things in the seats that I did send back to my friend, who's one of my best friends, who's a Patriots fan. I sent him those two things for his son. So maybe he doesn't even know he's getting it. That's it. Eagle fans are nice. Eagle fans are.
Speaking of not knowing we're getting stuff, I mean, everyone knows they're getting cheesesteaks at the tailgate. But does anyone know we're also getting some pork?
Pulled pork.
Alex in the building. What's up, brother?
What up, boys? How we doing?
You ready to slap some Blackstones together and cook some
meat? My God, I can't wait to slap some meat on the old griddle. Hear everyone yell, scream, "Go Birds!" Yeah, I'm excited.
So not only is Alex filling in for the show at the moment, he's also helping out at the tailgate. We've always been blessed with his presence. Shout out to Liz, who was just in comments. She said that she's attending the tailgate. But I mean, Alex, how are you feeling about what you saw from the team so far? I know it's just one game. Are you concerned?
I mean, there has to be a level of concern, but not too much. I mean, I'm not, selling the team, but yeah, we got a couple things to fix for sure. I mean, now with our linebacker being a little bit weaker, we didn't love Morrow. He would have made a great player on the team, but he didn't make the team. So it's like, where are we at? Yeah, now he's back. So it's like, where are we at with that? So I don't know. We have some holes to fill, but I think we'll be okay. I'm kind of hoping that we had a rusty first week because we were excited to come to the link and open it with the Vikings and, hopefully slaughter them, obviously.
And while we're on the topic of injuries, obviously, we suffered some in the past game. I think it's time for an Evan Hearn medical minute here because we've got.
You need music for that?
I would love it. I would love some music there. Bad news in the city of Philadelphia, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The milk missile has been spoiled, folks. The milk is spoiled. Reed Blankenship, ribs, did not participate in practice, and he will be out for the game. James Bradbury has a concussion. He will also not be in. Kenneth Gainwell also suffering some ribs injuries. He will not be playing. And Fletch is questionable also with rib injuries. The ribs took some damage in this first game, man. And I mean, as we look at that depth chart, there's been a lot of people that have been vying for Sidney Brown. And I think with Reed Blankenship out of the game, we're going to get a true taste of what this young man is bringing to the table.
Everyone knows that I'm a big part of the Sidney Brown Stain Club from Senior Bowl. So it's been a long time before he got drafted. That was my guy that I was hyping up. This might be his opportunity to shine. Obviously, you don't want injuries. I mean, the amount of rib injuries. I thought we were like Chili's making some baby back ribs because how many rib injuries we got? We got Gainwell with rib injury.
Yeah, 3 of them. Three of the 4. It's Blankenship, Gainwell, and Cox.
And when he went down, that's the first thing I said to you guys. I looked over. I was like, "Yo, Milk Missile's down."
Yep.
Robe says no chalked out.
I was gonna milk destruction.
Hey, we're gonna actually also be on Fox 29 tomorrow morning show. Rome, I was gonna actually reach out to you if you wanted to come join from 6 a.m. to 10. We will be on. So if you're in the Philly area and want to come on, let me know and I'll get you on our list. But yeah, a lot of guys went down, dude. I mean, there's interesting scratch at the beginning of that game. We saw Rashad Penny.
That was weird.
Down. I mean, and then DeAndre Swift, Philly's own, with 1 carry. How do we feel about that?
I mean, to be honest with you, from what we've been hearing all training camp long, is something that I wasn't really believing, in that Kenny Gainwell was the number 1 running back on this roster. And, we've been hearing it, and I've kind of been like, are they just kind of blowing smoke up my ass? Are they trying to get a competitive advantage and teams don't really know what to play for? And then the first shoe drops in Rashad Penny, he was being a healthy scratch in the game. That to me was an eye opener. Why would you, Rashad Penny to me, if you've seen what he's done in years past, he's a pretty elite runner when he's healthy. And the fact that he's healthy and getting, taken out of the game, that was a little bit weird to me. As it stands with Gainwell, I don't know, man. Because, I mean, let's disregard the injury. I truly just don't believe he's a lead back, if I'm being honest. I think he's a complimentary back. I don't think he is, in my opinion, what the Eagles are claiming he is as this.
So he's like a garlic powder?
He's garlic powder, man. And that's not garlic powder is great.
Salt and pepper is salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, salt and pepper. I'm saying all seasonings are great. Garlic powder is an elite seasoning. But, if you just have a dish of garlic powder, your breath's going to be on fire. You need to mix some stuff up.
Alex, can you, you're a master of spices. What kind of spice would Kenneth Gainwell be in this offense?
He needs to be that spicy jalapeno pepper. He needs to be a little chili flake. Like that's what we need from him. We're not getting it from him. Yeah, we're not getting it from him.
I mean, we did get that juice in the Super Bowl, though.
Right. But we're not seeing it now, which could, first week, right? And also,
he did have a good first drive, though. Can we be honest on that?
Right, you fed him the ball the whole time.
I think that Gainwell can be counted on for a few good plays a game, and the fact that it happened on the first drive, that's great. But I'm saying I just don't think that he's the lead guy. I think DeAndre Swift should be, the main running back coming out of this backfield.
He should be fit. Okay, I got you.
They're similar though. That's the problem. Like they're both two, hard fighting running backs that could catch the ball very well out of the backfield, but one's injury prone. The other one hasn't really proved himself yet. But Gainwell, I mean, if you forget, like he was a monster coming out of college. He set the FBS record for the most all-purpose yards for a reason at Memphis. So like he could do it. It's just we need to put him in better situations. Like, maybe run a little bit more screenplay, not Jalen Hurts all the time running the ball. I mean, that would be helpful too. Like save his shoulder, when he put his shoulder out to crush some guy, which was very nice to see. But when he crushed over him, like, gotta make sure your shoulder is good. Gotta make sure your arm is good. Like, still gotta whip that ball around. So I'd much rather see somebody else run it, like Gainwell. That'd be
Anthony nice. Northwest Bird Gang chimes in. He said, "No preseason weather definitely played a part. Please relax on the QB design runs." Speaks to your point, Alex.
Yeah, and I mean, this is all leading up to exactly what I was just going to say. I mean, when you look back at last year, what worked for the Eagles? Obviously, Jalen Hurts running the ball was a huge part of the Eagles' success last year. Dude had 13 touchdowns. However, he was also the highest graded pocket passer in the league. I think that's something that you need to lean more on, especially when you look at our wideouts and all of the other receiving options that we have on this team. So like, I don't think that we can gloss over the fact that the past 2 games that the Eagles have played, Hurts has had a critical fumble. That's just what it is. I mean, there's no dancing around it. That's what happened. So I think that we just need to be smarter with the ball and, get more pass plays in there, man.
I mean, again, like I was trying to like think, and I was looking at the game in like a Super Bowl sense because obviously it's still on the minds of a lot of Eagle fans. As you watch the game, you're like, okay, you started out fast, and then you finish real slow. I mean, because at the end of the day, they put up so many stalled drives that you're like, okay, when are they going to come out of this? And the fact that I thought the coaching got a little too cute. I thought Sirianni, and obviously we respect the guy. We put his face on a damn tomato pie. Shout out to Conshohocken Bakery. We'll have his face on a pie tomorrow because we love the coach. But what Sirianni, bro? Like, we're talking about an offense that was kind of stalling a little bit. Don't give them the whole half the field already. Just make them earn it. And we were surrounded by Patriots fans with middle finger hats on and masks and stuff, waiting to give it to us. So we were on pins and needles on that moment. Because I'm like, how many times are we going to give them an opportunity to come back? Were you guys feeling a certain way about the coaching during those times in the fourth quarter? You're like, what are we doing here?
There was a little bit of that. And I feel like I go back to how I opened up the show when I'm talking about there is just a lot of moving pieces going from last season to this season. The fact that we have 2 new an offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. None of these guys had any, snaps that they played in the preseason. I think that these are all a factor. And you also have to consider the fact that remember that Nick Sirianni had given the play calling to Shane Steichen last year. So to go from that, and now, we're transitioning into an entirely new offensive coordinator. I just think that there's going to be a learning curve ultimately. And hopefully this is a 1-week learning curve and the Eagles are able to snap out of it. But I mean, who was it that just put it up on the Someone was talking about in here, Darren J. was talking about, we also can't gloss over the fact that Hurts spent quite a bit of time running for his life on Sunday. And I think that's another factor as well. I mean, we are a team that has been spoiled with great offensive line play for the past decade under Jeff Stoutland. Mm-hmm. And now, Monday he was kind of running all over the place. There were some holes in that line.
And we cannot act like Belichick is not a good defensive coach, and
exactly
it doesn't have a good front. I mean, that was a good front. Mm-hmm. So when people at the end of the day will like that was the Patriots, Patriots a good front, and Bill Belichick, one of the best defensive coaches out there. Obviously, you started to see some things with Dallas Goedert being one target. They probably were trying to take him away, but there were at times where Goedert was wide open. You're like, bro, throw it. I probably feel like he's going to get targeted in this game, the next game coming up. But I think overall, I think he just got very comfortable going to the outside. I saw Jason Avant making a point on NBC yesterday, just talking about, kind of speaks to his ability to stay comfortable in the pocket. He's like, nah, I'll go outside. Mm-hmm. So my only concern moving forward is like every time you play a team with a great defensive-minded coach who gives you the script, because the NFL has a script, but this script is different from Bill Belichick. He can lay a foundation for the rest of the coaches in terms of like how can we slow this Eagles offense down. But
Right. Yeah, I'm hoping that it'll just be a learning curve, like you said. I mean, these guys are in new positions, new type of, communication skills going on between, the head coach, between the offensive coordinator, between the QB coach, it has to be a cohesive unit, and that takes time, right? Patience, like we got to make sure that it happens, and I think it will. I think that they'll get back into it. It's the same core of people, right? Same foundation, fundamentals type of thing. So I don't see why we can't, win 84-0 on Thursday night. So
Now, Alex, you talked about taking time and taking patience. You know what? What takes a lot of time and a lot of patience and precision? It's painting a mural, and this doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it may take a couple nights, but these guys who kindly take some time out of their day, they might be in a car somewhere close to the link. Shout out to Kyle and Justin bringing them in. They're doing the Lord's work out there in Eagles country. Tell us what is going on. You and Justin have been out there all day, working through crazy conditions.
Yeah. First off, thanks for having us on, man. I mean, perfect segue. We do feel like we're doing God's work out here, especially for the real America's team, Philadelphia Eagles. So we're super excited, super pumped for tomorrow, of course, and just honored and privileged to have yet another opportunity to install a mural outside the link. So this is our third rendition. Not going to give too much info, but it's going to be
not even tease.
We're just gonna be flying high, baby. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna be flying high.
Now you guys have been out here doing. We got Justin over here working hard. Look at him.
Look at that guy.
You might have seen their work before, recently in the past. Many of you guys have probably taken a photo in front of these wings. But I'm excited. I'm actually I'm kind of I can't wait to get in the stadium now. Like we're gonna be tailgating, but now I feel like I gotta get in there early.
Yeah, that would it would behoove you to get in here and get some good picks, man. Yeah, again, man, you make it sound so cool, so we really appreciate it. We're just out here trying to contribute, and it just so happens it's for the great Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, we're pumped, man. I think we came out pretty cool. And of course, there's always more to come, but this is another opportunity for us to showcase our talent and give a voice to local artistry, and we're just grateful that they selected us again.
So are you guys midway through this, or have you finished at this point, or where are you in the process?
We're actually sitting in the car in the plaza right outside of the field right now with the wall to our backs. We actually just threw up our tags on it. We just finished it up. So 7:00 right before game day, came down here yesterday, started last night, grinded until 3 a.m. until the storm came in. Hit it right again this afternoon, and we just wrapped it up now.
Much like the Eagles, we do whatever it takes, man. So yeah, we literally sitting in the car like he said, and just wrapping up now. So yeah,
here, show them where we are.
All right, how do you flip the damn camera around?
Just spin around.
Oh, you're at the promised land.
Yeah.
We are parked in the promised land.
Home sweet home.
See, that would have been dope if they let you sleep overnight there. Because now how many people could say they've slept at the link? Not a lot of people.
Hey, we were this close to doing it last night, man, with that tsunami of a storm coming through. But we wrapped up in the nick of time, and luckily when we came back today, nothing was really damaged in any way. So we kept cranking, and like we just said, we're just wrapping up. So just in time for kickoff, and we'll see you boys tomorrow. We are freaking pumped about the tailgating. You guys do the best. You're the best in the biz. So. Again, we're looking forward to so much tomorrow and so much for this team, and just so proud, man. Just so proud of what we're doing here in Philadelphia, and I know you guys can attest to that. So, fly Eagles, fly, baby.
Yeah. Before we
let you go, best mural artist in
I need a score prediction for tomorrow. I need a score prediction for tomorrow.
Oof, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one, but I think Hurts is gonna be slinging it, man. What do you think?
I think 38-20, 24.
That's good.
Eagles win.
I
would even say, I'm going to say 38-14.
Boom.
Love it.
Okay.
That's going to be an exciting game.
All right, brothers. We'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Appreciate you guys stopping by, man. I can't wait to see it, man.
Go Birds.
All
right, peace. That was fun.
Awesome.
It's going to be a nice little photo op there tomorrow.
I'm excited.
I know. Well, I mean, you brought
I'm sure
that
it
up
won't be
about
busy, though.
You talked about that wanting to get in the stadium early. I can only imagine how long that line is going to be in order to take a picture in front of that. So I would highly recommend walking in that stadium early.
How many people fit in the link? 60,000?
65, 70,000, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
So everyone there.
Now Brian, aka Blue Mini, who was also up in New England, I sent him a text. He thought I was some scammer, but he finally got back to me. Would love to link up with you. Hopefully you're gonna be at the game tomorrow. But he says I will take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. At the end of the day, man, like I don't want to be like I never want to be like football guy all the time. But like sometimes when you play football, you understand like certain situations where it's like you don't cry over getting W's. You enjoy you practice all week. You practice all season for W's. So when you get a W, you should be excited you got a W. Obviously, if it doesn't look right to some, you got the W at the end of the day.
And let's stop with the whole, like, I'm agreeing with you, but let's stop with the whole woe is me thing as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, because we've been sitting, like, we put up 25 points in a game where I think the Eagles played pretty horrendous. That was an ugly-ass Eagles game. And they put up 25 points and held the Patriots to 20. I mean, that is pretty much everything we're looking for. If we can hold the opponent to 20 or under points, our offense is good enough to put up enough points to win the game. So as long as we can do that, and hopefully we're going to be looking at a drier day. You know, when I tell you that my pants, I was like 40 pounds heavier before I finally switched my outfit, just because I was so waterlogged.
I want to tell you, Ev, that I just finally removed those said pants from not your pants, but my pants from my bag.
Oh, that must have been smelling nice. They
were right, and I was like, why did I forget that they were in there? Because it's a bad scene right now. But it was a drenched scene. You know, we had Mr. Nady in the building with us on the road trip. He's a good, you know, sometimes you go on road trips, you have to have the right people with you to make the road trip, said road trip comfortable. At one point in the night, it's about 4 a.m. It's about 2:30 a.m. We're rolling. We got to a part in the trip where I was like, all right, you know, let's get in some heavy metal deaths for these guys. So Evan looks at me. He's like, hey, you know, I'd like to request Metallica. So I tried to give him a basic Metallica.
Afraid Ends of Sanity is what I was looking for.
This guy went deep on me, and then they had a moment. Chris Nady and Evan had a moment where they
couple of metalheads
just having at it.
We were going back and forth.
Yeah, just
on
bonding over a bunch of screaming, huh?
Hey, it was a great time.
Hey.
And I will say that me and Nady were amping up that Metallica song for a few minutes, and then Gail was sitting there like, you know, this song better be good. Yeah, you've been amping it up. I think we made a Metallica fan out of Gail's.
Like the playlist went from Wu-Tang to like
disco. We had
disco. We had some. We had some Culture Club. We had some
very diverse
System of a Down. We had some we had Killing in the Name of.
We're called the Anything But Country Car. That's what we do. Anything but country.
We did do a couple drive-bys with our boombox. We did heckle some people.
Oh my God! I think we got to spend a little bit more time on that. Honestly,
you know, I don't want to heckle people, but when there's nothing else to do in Boston.
So yeah, I mean, this is a tradition that we started back in Charlotte last year, where we ended up after the win in Charlotte. We were driving around and we're like, well, there ain't nothing to do around here, and so we held a boombox out the window, and we drove around the town with a microphone, and we just told all the Carolina Panther fans how we really felt about that one, and then we did the same exact thing. You know,
I mean, I try to keep it like I'm not trying to be a troll, but I asked people where Wawa was. I tried to keep it. I didn't think that was confrontational. It was like, can anyone tell me where the Wawa is? Because that's at the end of the day, most importantly, a thing that people need to know around the Philly area where their Wawa is.
They probably say to Dunkin' Donuts up there.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you want to know where your Wawa is, just like you want to know like who your starting defenders are with all these guys being out. You want to know who's your starting cornerback, because you know Bradbury is like the pretzel at Wawa. It's consistent. It's always there. You feel safe when you know that's a good pretzel. But when you got a Josh Jobe, not that we're not impressed by his performance over the last offseason. We are impressed, but it's a Jordan Addison. Someone in the comments said Jordan Addison versus Josh Jobe. He's SEC battle tested in my Mark Bird voice, but he's SEC battle tested, and he'll have his hands full against Addison, who's one of their top prospects they drafted. Across the way, we have Slay, who also handled one of the best wide receivers last season.
Because he held him to like 40-something yards, didn't he? He didn't have a big day.
Oh, lockdown.
Yeah, he was locked down.
24-hour lockdown. Shoe program.
But, I have confidence in Slay. And I will say, too, that Slay is looking as spry as ever, man. I mean, he obviously had the pick six, which I feel like we are privileged to see at least one of those a year out of Darius Slay at this point.
And I called that last week. I said Darius Slay will get a pick six.
You also texted me that.
Love that.
Like 2 seconds after it happened.
But
credit.
But with that being said, James Bradbury going down and Jordan Addison coming. Like Jordan Addison had a good first week in his a good, like, it's his rookie year, and he had a good first week. He obviously plays opposite of Justin Jefferson. So I don't know, man. I think that if I'm looking at the defense and I'm the Vikings, that's kind of where I would be attacking. I'd be attacking Jordan Addison on Josh Jobe.
Now, also where I'd be attacking, obviously the Kobe Dean going down and being put on the IR. I've said it during the game. I've said it during preseason. I've said just where our team is vulnerable in the passing game is at safeties and at linebacker. And if I am any talented QB, I will pick any area where I can get to where I could see Reed Blankenship in space. You see Reed Blankenship on Hunter Henry, I'm going Hunter Henry every time. If I see some of our linebackers in space, I'm going there every time. And they the crossing routes or I can see Hunter Henry settling down those soft spots of the zone where he knows it's going to open up, because that's where you attack us. And I feel like I'm not being Debbie Downer. I'm just saying something that, again, which you'll see if you go back and watch the Super Bowl, you'll see all these good QBs that will take advantage of us in that area. So I feel like, are we headed down that road again? We did pick up Rashad Evans, who might be elevated. We got Nick Morrow, Christian Ellis came in and gave us some decent snaps, but again, Zach Cunningham, it's we have some questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
I think that I'd much rather see Rashad Evans, just because I don't think you play in the SEC. You're a top 10 draft pick, I think. And you're a fluke. Like, I think there's something there. I think that he just lost his spot in Tennessee and over the years, but I think he'd be a good person to have. And also, like, Kirk is a good quarterback. Hate to say it, sorry, but like, he's a solid quarterback. He's going to throw for 250, 300 yards, maybe. I don't want him to, but like, he probably will. And like, we might give up a big play or two. It's going to happen. That's what happens when the best player on the field, who's potentially Justin Jefferson, is there. Things will happen, but I don't know. I think Slade's been handling his own. I think that he's in top shape to take him down again.
Yeah.
If there's,
I'll be feeling pretty good about him.
I got a stat for you, Alex.
Okay.
Below you.
There we go.
I'll let you read it since you're the man of the hour.
Good. Kirk Cousins, 18 primetime games. He's 8-10. In those games, in every other game he started for the Vikings, he's 38-14-1. Okay, so under pressure.
Primetime Kirk.
Okay, great.
So that's a good thing for us. I mean, primetime Kirk is not he seems to be great outside of primetime, but at the end of the day, teams that have not been great against the Eagles, I think in the last 13 games, the Eagles have won 10 of them against them. So
I've got something even better for you. It's not just the Kirk Cousins and primetime thing. It's also the fact that this is the Evan Hearn statement. This isn't, I know I saw in a lot of fantasy football drafts this year, Alexander or Madison is getting a ton of praise, highly drafted. Everybody's loving them. Some Madison, man. Dude, I don't get it. I straight up do not get it. I don't think he's a good running. Like, I think he's a middle of the road running back.
He's like, if what kind of spice would it be, Alex, if he was a running back?
God, he'd be flour. He's got
It's flour.
It's needed. It's basic, but it's needed.
It's basic, but it's just
there ain't no spice to it.
Exactly. There's
not
nothing
spicy.
to it.
Yeah, there's nothing to him. Right.
Let's look at what we have and what is not there. So what's not there is the Vikings starting center. Am I right? I believe he's not going to be playing. So the two guys that we talked about, the Georgia Bulldogs, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they should be able to eat their way right through the center of that line and clog up those running lanes.
Left tackle too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Darisaw. Now, if Darisaw is down, I know he's questionable. If Darisaw is down, and obviously Bradbury is going to be down, it's going to be system of the downs.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that this defensive line.
Is that the name of the group? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, system of a down. Okay. Yeah. So this defensive line should be able to eat against this offensive line. And I think that if you're able to do that, if you're able to take Madison out of the game and make this completely one-dimensional, then you're relying on a primetime Kirk Cousins to beat you. I am afraid of a primetime Justin Jefferson. That guy is elite. Don't let Hollis tell you otherwise, who's sitting here and tell you that he shouldn't be a top 100 player because he wasn't in the Super Bowl. That's not true. He's an elite player, and he is a guy that could definitely do some damage. However, he was held in check last year by Darius Slay. So if Slay could follow him around, then we're relying on primetime Kirk Cousins and Jordan Addison to beat you. To me, that is a recipe for success.
Dad says Slay typically looks amazing first half of the year, and then a lot of people don't talk about the slight injuries that he did have. But at the end of the day, he's phenomenal, dude. Like, he's phenomenal. Just like the banana pudding is phenomenal. Pudding. Shout out to Jennifer Slay having a pop-up shop somewhere in Philly. News is about to drop. That's what you like to see. A person who's giving back to the community. Now you can go get some of that banana pudding and represent for the Slays. Bobby chimes in. He says Slay held Jefferson 6 receptions, 48 yards. That is like a flower type day. That is basic. So again, shout out to John. Greetings and salutations. He's in chat. Hopefully we see you at the tailgate tomorrow. Again, I would like to see you guys rocking out to this system. Not system of the downs, but this is system of the Red Bull truck.
This guy
is wild.
Man, my transitions are on fire today.
They are.
Killing it, man. I know. I also do have to run and get tailgate lanyards. So, and I'm working on giving away. We might have a ticket giveaway at the tailgate.
Wow.
And it's only going to the first 100 people that come to the tailgate.
We don't got reword that. We don't got 100 tickets to give away.
We have it's only 100 lanyards that are given away at every tailgate. So the first 100 we get rewarded because people who show up on time get rewarded. That's how it works.
Yes, sir.
Early bird gets the
worm.
Cheesesteaks.
Pulled pork. Now, tell us about this pulled pork. Is it you put your sock in it?
So my sock, is that what you asked? Yeah.
Not that sock, but the sock, the season.
Yeah. So I did a little bit different.
Fake kitchen guy over here.
I did a chipotle pineapple barbecue sauce, and I did it's pretty good. Amazing. And just some pulled pork. It's gonna be really good. Hopefully everyone likes it. I know that you will. And I heard we're gonna have some pretty bomb cheesesteaks as well.
As always. Is Pops gonna be there?
Yeah. We're coming. We'll be there hopefully at 12 o'clock, waiting in line.
Hell yeah.
To get in,
I just want to give a shout out to Mama Levine, the elbow injury. Not that she was cross checking somebody in a hockey game, but she elbow injury.
She's
On
throwing
the
notice,
IR.
dude. She's out. She's
Okay.
out for at least a couple weeks.
It was about to be her first tailgate with Fourth and Jawn, but it's gonna have to wait.
Hope she
No,
rests
we'll
up.
wait. We'll
Just
wait.
like we're having to wait for N'Kobe Dean, we're gonna have to wait for Mama Levine's show.
So, I mean, getting back to the game, what unit of the Eagles are you most worried about heading into this game?
I think I'm going to linebacker and safeties both, man. It's just like it's a mixed bag, and we just don't have any definitive answers in terms of like we know Slay, we know. But then again, like every question that we had going in the offseason, who was CB2, just in case someone might go down. Well, you get your answer. You'll have your answer tomorrow. Who is Sidney Brown, and when will he start? Well, you might have your answer tomorrow. Dad says play calling from the comments.
That's fair.
Do you think that as far as the running game is concerned, we're going to see, obviously with Gainwell being out, he won't be in there, but what kind of split are you imagining out of this backfield between Swift, Penny, and Boston Scott?
I think you got to you have to dial in Swift. Swift has to get dialed in. Some players, it takes a couple carries to get going. But I left that game just like, how do you get one carry? And I was telling even Evan, I was like, I was looking at Dallas Goedert's body language, and I was saying he's going to be connected to a squad, but like there comes a time after every play, it's a true serum. Is the body language. You could say whatever you want in a press conference, but you can see a dejected motherfucker. I was open look, or man, throw me the ball look, or like I was open dog, or the chin strap. The chin strap is always
frustrated.
So with Goddard and Swift, I feel like those guys need to get dialed up.
And you bring up Goddard. That's another guy I would like to see more involved in the game. I mean, this is something I've been saying for a while now. That I think that we have so many offensive weapons in this, but between our wide receivers and our running backs, that Dallas Goedert, he's a top 5'10", he's a top 5 tight end in this league, and he just gets constantly lost in the shuffle. And I don't know if that's because of how the game plan is written up. I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts simply isn't seeing him open out there, but he's open. To Gail's point, he's out there getting frustrated because he's not getting the ball when he is open. There was a surefire touchdown he could have scored in that game versus the Patriots had Jalen seen him. So I would like to see Goddard get more involved.
Now, Kyler, my guy from Texas, he says, "What's up, my guys?" Sunday, also big TCU's biggest fan, but I'm not sure he was ready for that L against Coach Primetime. But Sunday was a get-right game. He says, tomorrow I know y'all going to be loud at the link, and we're going to put on and make Primetime Cousins look like a fool. I didn't even – he mentioned Primetime. He just – not that Primetime, but Primetime Cousins. Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like it was a preseason game to me.
Yeah.
Who did the Vikings lose to week 1? It was the Bucks they lost to?
Yes.
They're the ones that lost to the Bucks. Jesus.
Mayfield, Mayfield Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
we haven't talked about Hawkinson either, who's also, that he's a very good tight end who is open, who against our
linebackers and safeties.
Linebackers is probably not. I'm kind of worried about him more so anything because. You do a check down every so often.
I mean, Hawkinson is also a top 5 tight end in this league, and he actually does get used. I mean, Kirk Cousins peppers him. So,
I mean, if you go back, if you look at the, I always just, where the ball is going, where the targets are going. That's really how you start figuring out where. I mean, if you look at the targets, Jefferson got 12 targets last week, 9 receptions, 150 yards, 0 tutties. His second in line was Hawkinson with 9 targets, 8 receptions for 35 yards. But, that's where he's going to be looking. If you look at Hunter Henry and Gesicki, I mean, he is a better version of those guys, I feel. Yeah. So I think we're going to get more. And then he just got paid, didn't he, by the Vikings?
Oh, yeah. He just got 84 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
$84 million or something like that. Good money.
So
I wish I was the tight
Big
end.
moolah.
But again, I'll go back and trying to figure out some of these Vikings podcasts to see what the real ones are talking about. They are all concerned about their offensive line. They're concerned about how do they stand up against our defensive front. And what Fletcher Cox may, if he might get an opportunity to go, that's great. But let's not forget to talk about William Williams. We recently mentioned Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, as a rookie, was out there doing his damn thing in his first game, dog.
Nation.
In his
Doing his
first
damn
game.
thing is an understatement, man.
And Milton Williams was doing his damn thing as well. So
Yeah.
let's not forget that we have some young guys, up and coming guys. I'm very appreciative of what Jordan Davis did. Obviously, if you can shut down the run, make them predictable, and do some kind of bracket coverage on, you might not even have to bracket Jefferson the way that I'd still bracket him anyway, but Hockenson could be the guy that gets a lot of those targets. And, Addison did score a touchdown last game. But again, the Vikings fans are very concerned about their offensive line and how they hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should be. Yeah, no, they're not. I don't think they're going to compete very well against our defensive front. I really don't. I think that our defense will, I don't want to say dominate, but is going to dominate. I think Kirk's going to be in the ground a lot and be forced. I think that'll be a thing this week.
Shout out to Mr. Ivler, who says the milk missile is wild. Miss Missile, the milk missile, we got stopped in the hotel in the morning. Milk missile was on the mind of many. It was a big LLL. Milk missile is a thing now. Hopefully, put that on a t-shirt. Kyler says, I'm with Gale, linebacker, safety, very experienced. John chimes in. He says, I'm worried about Brian Johnson's play calling. I at the end of the day, I gotta, I want to see more. I would love to see some more. I'd love to see some screens, some effective screens.
I just need a bigger sample size, period. I mean, I'm kind of willing to just forget about this first game. Because let's not gloss over the fact we won. We won the game. So there's that. So things weren't completely catastrophic. And on top of that, this is his first game as an offensive coordinator. This was Jalen Hurts' first game as a quarterback in Brian Johnson's system. Gonna need some time to figure some stuff out. But this is something, and I'm glad that Nick Sirianni addressed it in his post-game press conference. In that, something I want to see change into going into next year. These starters need to get some snaps in the preseason, man. I don't want to do the shake off the rust week 1. I want to be ready by week 1, come out guns a-blazing. That's what I want.
Shout out to NFL Reality Check. First time I've seen you in the comments. Stay a while. Enjoy the chat. Chime in. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone in the chat, actually. I think, Todd mentioned you got to get the Philly kid if you've never seen his college tape that he sent, his hype video when he went to Georgia, if you're not the level of difficulty and expertise that was to pull that off without it being cheesy, he did it. I know his dad is a diehard, he's owns a gym. He's a well-known yoked up dude in Philly. He's got the juice, so he's gonna have a big crowd out there. Let him rip, man. Let him run. Enough of these QB runs for a little bit. Let Swift run.
Just drifting away from the Eagles for half a second right here. I want to talk about what I think was one of the best games of the weekend. How about what happened in that Jets game, man? And I'm going to segue into the fact that, did you guys happen to see that there's 2 former Eagles quarterbacks that have equal chances to be signed by the Jets in replacement of Aaron Rodgers, both being Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. One that actually did the job and one that, watched.
Is it Carson Wentz and Tom Brady?
No, Carson Wentz and Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, yeah. I can't see Nick just morally doing that. I can see Carson going there, no problem.
Hey,
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
he needs to
see-
add to his wardrobe, bro. He's running out of clothes to wear. He's going to have the Jets helmet and the
hey, look,
Colts
we
pants.
we
And
talked to Foles last week. He said, "Don't close the door in Philly." Okay.
But yeah, isn't it kind of crazy though to like just the anticipation of Aaron Rodgers and then 75 seconds into their possession, season's over.
How much money was his contract for again? Guaranteed?
I don't even know. It was
130 million or something. Like, just you feel so bad. Like, you almost wish
I
that
don't feel
their
bad.
contracts.
I have a one
Some
story
people
paper.
feel bad. All right,
that I turned into a AJ Brown jersey.
that's
So I've moved on. You know,
I've got a bunch of coworkers that are Jets fans, and it was quite interesting texting them during that game.
what a roller coaster of emotion. Jeez.
Ed asked, bigger concern, Hawkinson or Jefferson?
Oh, Jefferson.
Jefferson is the one that has the ability to have the more game-breaking plays, but I really think that Hawkinson is the one that is going to just chip away, chip down the field. And I think that because of Slay's ability to stick with Jefferson, he'll somewhat hold him in check. But I think that Hawkinson's going to end up having more yards and receptions.
So what Evan said, he's more concerned about
Hawkinson,
our linebackers on Hawkinson versus Slay versus Jefferson. So I think we're all agreeing there.
Yeah.
Kyler says, yes, sir, with the center being out, I think Carterson, Davis, Williams, and Fletch will eat. I think Fletch will not let himself miss the opener. Because if you've never been to opener, I know the Eagles have some kind of thing if you get there at 8 o'clock. I know our tailgate might end earlier than 8 o'clock, but they have something where you download an app. It's going to be like some virtual thing where your phone is going to connect. They're going to get all your information. But they're going to have a fun time with the lights on your phone thing. So it's going to be a thing. So if you show up at 8 o'clock, you're going to be a part of history. Okay.
Yeah, there's like
there's a thing going on.
Like
There's a thing. You got to read the. You got to read the internet.
Like with your lights, you got to download the app, and then you do the app, and then it's going to be some light show all at the link, and it should be lit. It's pretty lit.
Yeah, get with the program. Get with the program.
Yeah, come on, dog.
Shout out to Hollis Thomas Mal, and we send our condolences to Primo. Someone asked in the comments, "Where's Prom tonight?" He's dealing with some family. He had a death in his family. We're all praying for him, and he, we're just wishing him and his family the best.
Yep.
Now Nick chimes in. He says this team is a shadow of what it was last season. I think in terms of the youth that we just infused, as you see, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter helped us win that game last year. That's a first year and a second year player. Milton Williams, a third year player.
Yep. A third year player who's looking jacked heading into the third year.
Some guy named Cam Jurgens, first time starting for the Eagles last week at right guard. We ran into his parents. Stuck out like a sore thumb. Cam Jurgens' parents, they got some size.
Papa Jurgens got some mitts, bro. He's got two hamburger helpers in his hands right there.
Big old meat paws over there.
Nice. I shook his hand. I was like, Jesus Christ. I feel like my hand just got swallowed.
Gave you a hug?
In orbit. Yeah.
And I think Cam's mom, she can get in there, play left tackle. She got some, she was like, I just walked up 5 flights. I was like, I look terrible. I was like, come on.
Great, Mr.
You look great, Mr. Jurgens. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate all those families that travel the distance. I do have a hard out tonight. I do have to pick up our lanyards before Staples closes. So,
okay.
In true fashion. Go ahead.
I mean, what's the deal with the? Are we looking like we're gonna have a new flag this tailgate, or
your guy didn't get back to me?
Okay.
We have the old one.
The old one.
We have the old one. But I want to give a shout out to Philly Sports Trips. Make sure you follow them and book a trip. PhillySportsTrips.com. Make sure to follow them at Sports Trips PHL for more information. We have decided we just one-on-one trip, New England. Second trip in the books. flights booked. We are going to LA for the LA game. So if you guys want to come out with us in LA, we'll be with Philly Sports Trips. So that'll be a good time. We're also going to Kansas City to see one hell of a offensive firepower units.
Super Bowl rematch, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a wild game
Mm-hmm.
in Arrowhead. Wow.
But I've heard from a lot of Eagles fans like, oh, I'm not going to that one. I'm like, why are you shook?
Shook ones?
In the
Part
words of
two?
Mobb Deep, scared to look. You know, we're not scared to look. We go down there in the heat of the fire. We sit in front of Patriot fans. We get heckled. We don't care. We don't blink. We sit in the rain. There's fans that go travel and they, wear their heart on their sleeve. Shout out to Liz. She wears her heart on her sleeve. We met her in the line for the Kelly Green jerseys. These are the type of people we're dealing with. This is how we take over these stadiums. We show up.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are like, I'm going just for the barbecue.
You're allowed to show up for the
I'll
barbecue.
blame
Man.
them.
I mean,
I'll blame
barbecue
'em.
at the 4th of Jawn tailgate, at least.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
It's worth it. That was disappointing, Des. That was really disappointing.
But yes, before we get out of here, I want to thank Alex for joining us on the tailgate
Yes,
and actually filling in and joining us tonight, giving us a sneak peek of what he's bringing to the table. I know, Ev, if you've never had a cheesesteak from Ev and you never had a moment of psychedelic awesomeness, like there's other cheesesteaks out there, but nothing like Ev's. Nothing like on a random tailgate day where you didn't know you were going to show up to a tailgate. You didn't know you were going to be blessed by Evan. This is what you need to tap into. You're going to get this you're going to get an experience that you haven't had at other tailgates.
I wish everybody could have seen me in Giant just prior to this podcast too, because I was trying to rush to the store and get all of my onions for tomorrow. Just before this podcast started. And it's just me, like, just filling up a bag with just onions. And then I was checking out in line, and everyone's just looking at me like, what the hell is this guy's problem? I got cheesesteaks to make.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, last word. We'll start with you, Mr. Alex.
I'm very excited to be back tomorrow at the link with everybody. Obviously, the football game's going on, but I'm just excited to be with the boys, with the homies again, hear the music, hear the screaming, watch all the people, be happy, joyful. And, I'm expecting a big win tomorrow night as well. A very happy win. I don't know. Let's give it a score. Let's say blow them out of the water, 84-0.
Oh!
Yeah.
In honor of Randy Moss, we're putting up an 84 burger.
Yeah, why not? 3 touchdowns, a quarter, we could do it. Why not?
What are we, IMG Academy?
Yeah, BS Academy.
Shout out to the IMG Academy. He's a fan of the show. Shout out to Billy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Marissa asked, did we see the pop-up in Philly? I did. I actually contacted Jen. I said if she would like to be showcased on Fox 29. We're trying to make that happen. But we love the Slays. They do a lot of great things for the community.
Yep.
Also, if you go to her socials right now, she's giving away jerseys. Again, she's starting it up. Tim Hayes, 34-16. Is this I'm gonna go 31-14. 34-17. I'm sorry.
34-17.
Yep.
Okay. I think the Eagles handle business tomorrow. I'm gonna go 31-7. 31-7. Vikings just aren't really able to get anything going, and Eagles defense holds them in check.
Okay. Nice. Did want to give a shout out to everyone sponsoring us tomorrow. Shout out to Red Bull, who's our new sponsor for the tailgates, which is huge. Shout out to Nadia. She's been a pleasure to work with. Shout out to Jesse from Bud Light. In touch with him. Yo, we got a new Bud Light can. He just confirmed this This is how we work. Things just happen. Like this Bud Light can is
Oh!
Kelly Green,
Oof.
and it's going to
Oh.
drop. And I've already had people asking me to hold cans for them.
God.
I'm not
Seems
a
like a souvenir or a collectible.
I'm not
almost.
a recycler person. I recycle, but I'm saying I'm not the guy that picks up cans and hold on to them. You got to get them at the tailgate. So as we speak, he's saying, I have to meet you somewhere. Where can we meet in the morning to pass them off? Things happen on the fly. This is breaking news, but I have to run and get these lanyards. Obviously, we're hoping to get tickets giveaway for the tailgate. So first 100 people that get there, you could be in it to win it if you don't have tickets. Again, shout out to Prime and his family. We're thinking of him. And shout out to Hollis and shout out to Mal.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a last word, Ev? Did you already go?
I think I already went. Yeah.
Okay. But shout out to your cat, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone have any more shout outs?
Yo, shout out to Gail. Shout out to Ev.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex.
There you go.
Shout out to Contract Hawk and Italian Baker. Did I forget them?
You may have actually. I might have forgot about them.
Let's
So-
go for a little
Shout
boost
out
tomorrow.
to being the first team in the NFL to be 2-0 tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
that?
So yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, if you're checking out Fox 29 in the morning, you see these ugly mugs up top. That's me and Evan. You see Lowski on there. You'll see Kyle and Justin will also be on Fox 29. They're showcasing his
Beautiful.
mural, maybe.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys get there and check them out and check us out. If you see, I don't have a DVR. I forget to record stuff. Record it for us.
You don't have DVR.
I don't know. I just don't have time.
Just
Yeah.
got a new house. Give them a break, you know. Come on.
So if you record it, send it to me. That'd be awesome. Appreciate you.
All right.
And as always, fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.
Deuces.